am now. I'll start over again. We call to order. Adjustments to the agenda. We have Darlene Clark resigned as 911 dressing officer. Motion to accept her resignation.
Second.
All in favor?
Gauss, aye.
Will Pan, aye. Motion to accept. A motion to appoint Mark Perry as 911 dressing officer for $600 a year.
Second.
All in favor?
Gauss, aye.
Will Pan, aye. Hancock County Planning Commission sent me an email that they're looking for their board members. Do we have any volunteers to join Hancock County Planning Commission's board?
Well, you have about a.
Well, there's so there are representatives from all the towns in Hancock to help run Hancock County Planning Commission. So that's the group in Ellsworth that helps various towns do various things, including they're helping us with our comprehensive planning. And if you want to consider it, they would like someone up to 2 members by June.
Each town gets 2 members and 1 alternate.
Okay, so obviously our Board of Selectmen meetings have gotten more complicated, and we really don't have a procedure policy, and so I'd like to start one. And so I have here 3 things to start off with. Number 1, as far as timing of the minutes and the agenda and so forth. So the clerk emails the minutes from the previous Board of Selectmen meeting by the other day on Friday to be approved during the following meeting. Number 2, chairperson sends agenda to board members and the clerk before business hours on Monday before the meeting. And the clerk posts agenda in the town office, the community building board, in the post office, and the Sorrento Facebook until the website is available.
Can I have a copy of that? I didn't.
You don't have this?
No,
I bet,
you don't. I didn't get any copy of it.
You didn't get the agenda?
I didn't get the revised agenda or copies.
Well,
don't you have it?
this is.
Can you send it via email?
Yeah, I did.
I'm not really. Well,
No?
Am I gonna know this?
Well,
Oh, we have to share it.
oh, here we go.
You can have a clean copy.
Okay, I'll swap. Thank you.
Um,
In that procedure there, is there any way? to do that?
that's in the agenda.
Oh, okay. I see it.
And as far as posting it at the post office, perhaps Diana can print it off and
The end of the day on Friday,
Yeah. I
Before the
know
meeting.
that.
Friday before the meeting.
Rather than after them. Right.
any thoughts, Diana?
But no, it's fine, except for that's for correction. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Kathy,
Is that-
any thoughts on that procedure?
No, I'll do my best to get the
Okay.
minutes done.
Well, if you don't, then we just postpone approval.
Well, I mean, I'm taking.
So motion to approve the Board of Selectmen procedures so far as we have.
Second,
All in favor?
Gauss, aye.
Will Pan, aye. Okay, as far as our Board of Selectmen vacancy, since it's so close to the annual meeting, I move that we don't have a special town meeting to fill the vacancy. And the vacancy will be filled during the annual meeting. I'm sorry.
If there is a special town meeting, will you put that on for the special town meeting? Will you put that in the special town meeting?
What in the specials?
Well, if there's a special town meeting, we'll decide what will be on it. I don't see any reason for a special town meeting at this point.
Before I say yes, which I will, I see it as 6 of one and, half a dozen of the other. It's so close to the fall election that you have to really work to get this, and this done. And then by the time the election is, there's like 2 months till the fall election. So, it looks to me, not gonna make a lot of difference. Yes?
Seems to be a very important thing, but I think that it's enough time that we could hold it, and it would be,
Well,
there's no reason.
well,
Yeah.
I second his motion. Yes?
So basically, we have no say. You second his motion, he's gonna.
Well, we're still discussing it.
But it's tough.
We're still discussing it. Yeah,
Oh, we're still discussing it. Okay. Yes.
that's okay. Yes.
Elections cost money. If you're gonna try to get somebody nominated and running for office, you gotta start advertising their petition. You can't just say, well, there's a meeting next week, let's fill a vacancy. I mean, it's elected office. So advertising in papers.
Do we ever have?
Well, you have to advertise a newsletter for the appointing papers and so forth. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things happening, true, and to add to it doesn't necessarily help.
Well, another thing is that if,
Don't speak out, please, so we can hear Diane.
but the other thing is, okay, there's two. If during this period, there's some thing which is particularly, people are, we can just postpone it till fall, some matter. I don't see anything particularly unusual.
I mean, we
have to vote on
okay.
immediately.
We are moving forward with the consensus of the meetings as far as the budget committee, as well as the a recall ordinance. So, things are happening, and I don't see what would happen any differently.
You have to say this.
Yeah.
With only 2 of you, with a lot of things coming up, you basically have a forum, but I have a concern about, particularly you, Mr. Lopan, being on a committee that might have something to do with a recall. Where it is your wife that's being recalled, I would ask you to recuse yourself in the involvement of a petition or the involvement of an ordinance that deals with that. And I think you may want to consider either having an interim or postponing some of that, but please don't postpone.
Well, as far as the recall ordinance, that is something that the town would vote on.
Yeah, so we have to wait till then.
Are you going to put a selection of ordinances, or how are you going to handle that?
That's what the board will decide as far as what's best for the town.
Well,
I hear it.
I am responding to him, but you guys can't seem to keep your mouth shut.
I think what you hear is that he is.
No, this is not number one. This is time for discussion.
well,
It's not a time for discussion.
but
Where are we? I mean,
with
please.
the recall
So we're
ordinance,
doing number 7 now. Is that correct?
no, we did.
We're
On number 6.
Well, okay, but
No,
No, I'm sorry. What?
we're on can't. The Board of Selectmen.
So we update.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, sitting in front of us, I think people would like to see somebody else, some input.
Anyone else?
Yeah, the voice that you had on the Board of Selectmen, just retired on his own volition, right? He was the counterpoint for these two who were duly elected, surrounded by the people, surrounded by the majority, of them, right? So, the idea that, he's not representing us, me, and many people in this meeting who are not quite as vocal is ridiculous. The idea that Diana Gazis is not representing us, maybe not you specifically, but us, is ridiculous. They are select persons who were voted by the citizens of the Sorrento to represent us. If John Baker wants to resign, that's his business. If he was your chosen representative, you talk to him and get on his case for having accused himself from that position. That's not these guys' fault. It's not the cause to put somebody in the interim to represent your position. You know, wait till the process gives you a chance and vote somebody in as one representative.
John?
John Michael just would like a chance to plug that. I actually resigned because of the difficulties working with these two and the difficulty getting them to conform to the rules set forth by the Maine legislature.
Your lawyer,
No, but I've taken some classes, probably more than you have, Crosby. And if you would let me speak, why are you speaking when I'm speaking?
we're both sitting here in the front.
This is, you have your chance to speak. But it's time for you to sit there and be quiet.
But what do we really know about the cast members that portray
Can
our
I say
favorite
something?
characters in the Virgin River universe? And have
He said no. Okay.
Why are you giving?
No, I think, well, the next, the next item is the recall.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were still on the topic that I was talking about.
No, the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that someone was worried about it only being 2 selectmen because of the recall ordinance. But oops. But you, oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that there's not much choice as what to do with the recall ordinance, but okay.
Well,
You can all talk.
hold on. So I think Crosby had a good point that that John, was part of this board, and for whatever reason he decided that he couldn't work with us to change things in his direction. So if someone else is elected who opposes the consensus on the board, it wouldn't change it.
I have nothing against an immediate election. I don't care one way or the other. Okay. With someone.
Someone is talking. Yeah, hold on. Let's see if there's anyone else. Okay. John?
Yeah, Tom, again, just because I became frustrated and resigned doesn't mean that another person in town shouldn't have the opportunity to fill my vacancy and have their opportunity to represent constituents.
Right away, rather than a couple months.
Yeah, right away. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate that I got to the point where I needed to. But it is what it is, and I just think that that my position should be filled prior to the annual town meeting.
Over there.
There's someone over there. Hi. Unfortunately not.
I guess there were more people than.
Well,
Okay, so
I mean, yeah, next time I'll have to print out more stuff. Okay, so you have to understand that if we did have a special election, it still takes 40 days.
and you read what I do in 40 days. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
So
should I-
if you like,
I move that we have an election,
so special election to
a
fill the vacancy.
special election to fill the vacancy, the Board of Selectmen's vacancy, select person's vacancy.
Okay, so moved.
Wait,
So moved.
I moved, you second. Did you
Oh,
move?
yeah, I second. So moved.
Okay.
I second. Same
All-
thing.
All in favor,
Will Pan, aye.
Basil aye.
Okay.
Okay,
So Kathy will figure
I've
out
got no spine.
what the schedule is for that, and it might coincide with the school board vote. You did? What? How many days would you plan for a special election?
17 days. You have to have 10 days and 7 days.
Yeah, it's more than that actually, because in order to provide absentee ballots, you have to have those for 30 days. So I think it's 44 days or something.
Those business days are down.
So you have to, the minimum is 10 or 14 days to announce the appointment papers. And after they come in and certified, then you have 30 days. Right, and that's for the annual meeting. So that's not for this. This is separate.
With only one.
Yep. Okay. Recall ordinance discussion. Oops, sorry.
One thing on
Yes. Recall ordinance. So what do you want to do with it? I gotta leave these things next time. You got two? I need it. I don't know how it both came to you. Kathy? Okay. Okay, so the recall ordinance that the town of Gouldsboro uses seems to be the most fair to all. Obviously, it's a larger town, so the number of signatures would be reduced to 25. And it requires actually hiring an examiner to evaluate the concerns of the petitioners.
So if there are no concerns, the examiner would not be.
I thought that once, I thought the examiner had to, I thought someone from out of town had to examine it,
Right, so
which I think is a good idea.
a petitioner would say, hold on. A petitioner would say, pass petition around, to recall someone from an office for a certain reason.
It has to give the reason,
And then the examiner would evaluate the reason and
Yeah.
determine whether or not it's valid.
whether it fit with the rules.
And John had
Yeah.
hand first.
John, have you guys worked on this document outside of this meeting?
This is the beginning of it. We're not,
Seems like you guys are both pretty familiar with this content.
I sent it to her, that's all.
Somebody sent it to me to read.
Right, that's actually not.
No, that's
allowed.
fine.
It's not.
No, talking about it's not allowed. Sending it to talk about at an open meeting is, yes.
Well, you kind of took me by surprise by having it here already, because I thought we were gonna discuss this. I have a statement I'd like to read, and I have some questions, like, be important, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna skip the first one.
Wait, is he allowed to?
Gaz's eye.
I do project better. I do project better than I stand. The reason I came to this town, like I say, I wanted to live out my retirement, peaceful little town, and everything was going great. And then all of a
Clay
sudden,
Savage.
my name is Clay Savage. Sorry about that. My fault. When I found out that the blatant pornography in the school library was creating some havoc for kids and for teachers, and particularly being an educator myself for many years, I could not believe how blatant some of the pornography was. In the school library, there's 95 books. I don't think I want to read the whole list, okay? But two of the major ones were gender queer, and identical, I think, was another one. And they have blatant accounts of like and I hate to say this, it embarrasses me to have to talk about it. But anyway, you are. Yes. Okay, then I'm not going to go into disagree with your.
Well, actually, can we discuss this directly?
All right, so let me do this.
Sure.
This brings me to the point of recall, where we are right now. Any individual who is in charge of the well-being of children in any capacity must be concerned for the safety, both physically and mentally, for children first and foremost. When any administrator, teacher, or school board member is derelict in their first and foremost responsibility of the safety and well-being of children, they should be fired or recalled. When I asked the town clerk for a recall petition form, she stated the town did not have an ordinance or petition form. When I found out that Maine is a recall state according to federal government, I felt it was both my responsibility and duty to do my best to protect the children of RSU 24. I put together my own recall petition form and started to circulate the form in Sorrento. When I began to explain and or show the blatant pornography material to the people, many of them were somewhat or fully enraged to think this was happening in the local school and was more than eager to sign the petition. At the last selectmen's meeting, I was not allowed to finish my statement and was abruptly interrupted and told by a pointing finger to sit down. The two remaining selectmen, without wanting to hear what I had to say, said the petition was not valid, which I have reason to disagree with. Many in the audience were quite disappointed how the petition was handled by the two remaining selectmen. The people who signed and attended the meeting felt they had been blown off by the select board. At the end of the meeting, I gave Mr. Wilpan 4 samples of ordinances from other Maine towns and the town of Paris, where 2 school board members were being recalled. One resigned before, and the other was totally recalled. And one resigned, and as I said, but both members in Paris were being recalled for the very same reason we are trying to recall Janet Wilpan from the RSU 24 board. The precedent has been established. I am not sure your town attorney is aware of the precedent of federal law regarding Maine. Has the Selectmen's Committee considered any of the sample ordinances I provided?
Yes, we looked at that.
And in all of those towns, they had in their ordinance any elected official. And that's why school board members can be. I know what Maine 30A says, okay, but that's under debate right now too. Has the Selectmen's Committee considered any of the sample ordinances I provided?
Well, this is recall of any, the Goldsboro one of any elected official.
Did you both read them?
No, I read, I mean, we're not
Thank you.
talking together like we.
Have any of you collaborated on a recall ordinance before or after my petition being presented?
What?
No, we're just
He
presented one.
he looked at them and found this one, and which he liked, and sent it to me. And I read it, and actually I liked it.
Well,
And I had told you previously I wasn't gonna vote for any recall ordinance. And
okay,
I changed my mind when I
However,
saw that.
let me continue. Because of the situation you are in, Mr. Wilpan was part of any recall collaboration. I have a major concern. Has the select persons discussed or reviewed my request for a recall petition? Did you look at the petition and see the number of people that had signed that? I was way over the limit.
The problem was that with the petition, which you know, the petition had to have, the petition has to have the recall of so-and-so for this reason, and it didn't give the reason. So you can't, have one like that.
You made that very clear though.
Well, yeah, but it's gotta be in writing.
And I did. Anyway, do your plans to construct or adopt an ordinance for Sorrento include any parents or citizens?
Well,
You're in a meeting.
Do they plan to include parents or citizens in the process of defining and setting forth an ordinance for recall?
Well, we're here at a meeting discussing the
Yeah.
ordinance.
Okay,
and
well-
if we vote on it in September, annual meeting, that's what we have to do finally, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to look at ordinances, but we would present the particular ordinance from the warrant, right?
Right.
Yeah.
well, Mr. Wilpin, in the sense of fair play and decency, I ask you to recuse yourself from the ordinance of construction or petition because it is your wife that's being recalled. Do you see the conflict of interest there?
Okay, as far as an ordinance goes, it's for any town official.
Any town official,
Right.
that includes school board.
And it includes us.
Right. Yeah, that's not what this ordinance says, that you passed out as a sample.
All elected municipal officials, yes.
Yeah, elected officials.
Except those exempt by virtue of state statute.
Right, and I think, what was it, Kennebunk? That was actually thrown out, Kennebunk anyway.
No, Paris is where it was, and it was accepted, and the school board member was recalled.
Right,
And so the precedent has. been established.
because their recall ordinance allowed a minimal examination of the complaint.
And the 4 ordinances that I gave you as samples, all of them had any elected official,
Right,
and they're legal.
And it's the
And I
same
think
as
we should have that in this ordinance for this.
Any-
So you're saying you should cross out, except those exempt by virtual state statute?
Yeah.
Okay,
I also cross out Hillsborough.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
and
Yep.
cross out the names.
yeah, well, obviously, this is just a fast draft.
We understand. But I do believe that that has to be in there because this is going to only enhance our democracy. Okay?
I like.
With.
Yeah, it's crossed out.
Okay, so you're crossing that out.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll be quiet.
Thank you. I motion, you have any other comments on this, Diana? Do you have any other comments on this ordinance?
No, it's just that I thought it was fair and what you want. What bothered me about recall ordinance was I didn't want it. I wanted to be sure that you couldn't say, oh, there's recall, and all of a sudden someone would have be really angry at someone and use it to get back. I wanted to be, and that's really, I think, the reason why you have someone outside the town to look at it. Because anyway,
Well, I
you
move,
get to read it.
Do you mind if I just pass out some of these ordinances in draft? Does anyone like, one? All right, let me, I'll pass them.
Can I have one? Thank you.
Why, of course you can. Everybody else in there? Yep. All right.
vote on this now or later?
We're voting on doing this one.
Yeah, to put this in the end. Or not.
Yeah, I think so. Yes,
Sorrento, I think that, since this has just been introduced, I don't think it should be voted on now without people being able to look it over. They may have other questions.
Okay.
okay, we can do that, yeah.
Okay.
Just and less.
Yeah.
Kids should be in school. Raise your hand if you have kids. We all have kids. For the reason of what's being taught in the schools. Have you ever had kids in the schools? The town should take a lot of consideration for the people that have kids in school on this map. They're the ones that are, the kids are in school. Your kids are in school at a different time. Right? Yes, yes, I mean, they're not. They were taught differently. No. Thinking. Take consideration of the parents. Their kids are in school.
Rusty?
Okay, the only book that's been specifically mentioned is gender queer, right? You're familiar with that book?
Yes.
Like, that's the term that was applied to this.
If the school would have been considered.
Pornography is random emphasis. It's all over. It's not a we. This book, which I have looked at, don't condone pornography in schools, anywhere else necessarily, but this book is a guidebook for people who think other than you may, right? There are people who have different sexual inclinations in our society, maybe your kids, maybe my kids, wherever. And the fact that there is a guidance, this is a guidance in the school library is a useful tool for their development. And so when Janet Wilke, as a school committee member, votes to uphold maintenance of that book in the school library for certain purposes, under certain conditions, I and many people in this room, understand, many people in this room and in this community are going to support her. And so this isn't about pitchforks and torches. This is about opinion. And so you may not want to choose this, put your kids in school on the basis of a guidebook about gender, queer, that it doesn't look. It's word forward. I think we are on different sides of the issue as far as what the use of this book is for the development of somebody who is not like you. There's nothing to go with what you do. It should be taught where.
Okay, hold on, let's stop the conversation there.
Someone came back.
Hold on, guys. Bill and Crosby, let's move on, please. Who's next?
He's next.
Yes.
I apologize for my outburst earlier. My name is Gregory Bullock, 370 Eastside Road. I agree, this is not about pitchforks and fires, etc. So would you be willing to go with multiple other people to these libraries to go through every single book with us and pull out and look at every one of these books individually and determine which ones are and are not, by unanimous opinion, which ones would be considered pornography, and then based on a group consensus looking at every individual book, determine what should and should not be in that school? I'm talking about you, myself, and any other adult in this room that is willing to go and look through the library. Why don't we get our own eyes onto the book and actually determine what is in it? Let's not go off of hearsay. No pitchforks, no.
Excuse me. I appreciate your expression on this topic, but we have to move on. This is, it was the warrant article, the agenda article was purely about the recall ordinance. And we have to move on.
Well,
Yeah, but
yes,
right.
right, some issues are like that. They take, a lot of stuff that aren't strictly on. And we're hoping we can find a way where we can talk those through, not at a business meeting, a meeting where people have a chance to talk more informally. I understand what both of you say. It's not that. Okay, so you will recall ordinance. So we will distribute it or something.
We'll make it available for people to review, and as well as review further ordinances. Next meeting. Next meeting.
Next
Next
meeting,
meeting?
yeah.
Okay. It'll be available at the next meeting or prior to?
Available. We'll have them at the town office to be picked up or emailed
Or at the post office. Is that possible?
or posted.
No, post office.
No, I'm saying posted. What do you mean at the post office?
If copies that people could pick up at the post office.
The town office.
Town office, okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yes.
Well, Carol Page, is it possible to vote on this ordinance at the same time?
Something to consider.
Or could be,
If we're fast enough, yeah.
It changes how to set things up, but yeah, we can consider it.
because I mean, all you gotta do is make a few changes.
Not really, you have to have a
get
hearing
people
for it.
to sign.
You have to have a
Yeah,
hearing
people
for
to
it.
sign something that had the, oh, okay, yeah,
No.
the ordinance, yeah.
The ordinance, we would have to have a hearing for it prior. So that adds more. Yes.
Ms. Wilson, I don't think I got a direct answer to my question. You think about when you recuse yourself from the ordinance.
Well, it's for the whole town.
It's not
It's
for any It's,
But you don't see a conflict of interest.
No, I
with your
don't.
wife being recalled.
if we actually had a recall ordinance that was able to be enacted, yes, I would recuse myself. But from helping the town to approve a recall ordinance in general, no. John?
John, so the reason for having this as the topic of discussion at this meeting was a direct response to what you felt was an inadequate recall petition circulated by Clay previously. So in effect,
No.
you are responding to
No.
that petition.
No,
This was already.
No.
Clay asked the town to consider a recall ordinance, and that's why we're doing it.
Yeah,
Because of his petition that you said was inadequate, where he was trying to recall your wife. That does directly
No,
affect the whole
No.
thing.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think it
no, it
does.
doesn't.
I think it does.
well, then there will be the only one left, and there will be no,
That's the reason for needing a third select.
That's why we need a third one.
you'll never get it done before
Okay.
the annual meeting.
Well, we'll see. Yes,
You're not in the line.
Is suggesting that what we do in a democracy is we elect people. And if they make a decision we don't like, you de-elect them. Now, it's one thing for John to say, I don't want to be a selectman anymore. I don't even know why that seems to be okay. Because he was elected by a bunch of people. Myself included. Yeah. And suddenly,
same here.
nothing to me, he just thinks he doesn't want to be a selectman.
Do you have children?
I beg your pardon?
Do you have children?
Or have children. Don't start getting personal with me. I'm asking about the nature of this tiny town. I have seen things happen in these select meetings over the past month or two that in the years I have been in this town, I have never seen happening before.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm really sure. I think I'm not going to get a debate. I just want to raise the question that do we really want to consider having elections which we can then countermand a week, a month, 2, 3 months later, particularly over an issue that you raised regarding the wife of one of the select people. Why she singled out is a mystery to me. And frankly, your definition of pornography is not something I agree with, nor would my children, nor would my grandchildren.
How many books have you read?
I'm not going to answer, I'm not going to discuss with you. I'm not going to work. This is not a Socratic debate. I'm saying basically
Let's,
that we decide we need to recall anybody we want at any time we choose. This puts our little tiny democracy at huge risk, and I'm amazed that nobody here seems to understand that. We have had issues raised in this town going back years where we've had disagreements and they've been settled relatively amicably. People have treated, the selectmen have treated the people in this town with respect, and that respect has been fed back. And something has happened in the last couple of months to all of us here that is deeply, deeply disturbing, and I'm surprised the rest of you don't see it. I know Mr. Bierman and Backy and I discussed years ago a whole bunch of various issues, and we didn't agree on everything, but we remained respectful and courteous and kind. And what I'm hearing and seeing here is something different. And I really wish you people would stop and consider what you're doing, because this is not the town that I grew up in summers and in winter. Something different is going on now. And I think you people should really be part of what you're doing and how you're doing it, because respect is a mutual thing. It goes both ways. And what's being shown to these people is not respect. It's something different. And it doesn't have a place in this town. I have the illusion that this was a special place. Apparently not.
Harold?
I guess we disagree.
Oh, no, hold on. No, hold on. Harold,
In response to your comments, Mr. Moses, my feeling I have in this. Right now, if somebody, if one of the selectmen or any other captain or fire chief, anybody else, does something illegal act, or something totally contrary to the town ordinance, there's no way to address.
well, Kathy's appointed.
All was if they had a felony or something, you get rid of them.
There's no way to count, no way to be. Most times, and I think we need this, because if somebody commits an illegal act or does something totally contrary to the town's well-being, we have to have a way to address that situation and remove them from it. Right now, there's no way. If one of these people went out and got arrested for committing some felony, or God knows, there's no, the town has, the people of the town have no recourse. And
Well,
way to-
Harold, if we did commit a felony, state law would allow us to
There
do
is
it.
that.
Yes.
But any other thing, or, you understand what I'm saying? Town has no way to address this until the next election.
Well, I guess what I find, if I could just complete my thought, I haven't seen any evidence, not one goddamn shred of evidence, that any of these selected people, John included, has violated, has done illegal activities. I've heard a lot of accusations thrown around for various reasons that don't all seem legitimate to me.
Some of which you haven't even heard.
Who?
Okay, let's not go
I'm
there.
not getting into it. I'm just saying that there's a level of respect and honor due to the people we put in positions of power in this town. And I think it would behoove us all to look carefully at what we're doing, because what seems like a great idea to get rid of somebody on the school committee or this person or that person, these things can play out in a most extraordinary way and have repercussions that you have no idea what you're opening up. And as I say, I don't see a whole lot of malfeasance here. I mean, but you know, people have different agendas. That's their damn.
And nobody's saying that there is, but we need to have. Take care. If there is.
Hey, Harold, Diana?
I say something. What we're talking about now is whether we should have an ordinance to recall elected officials. And that's what it is. Look at it, see if you like it and vote for it. I personally really like the way this was written, but I didn't read any others.
Right, so
But we'll put it
we'll
on
make a
there.
decision next meeting whether or not to put it in the
Yeah.
annual meeting.
So,
So moving on, so as far as the budget committee goes, I know that some people have expressed interest in budget committee, and some people have attended MMA webinar on it and
Yeah.
so forth. Would you like to talk about that?
Well,
Diana?
Kathy and I,
Or Kathy?
well, it was a wonderful webinar. Very good, except you couldn't hear it on Zoom. And you said, you know, you put your comment in, can't hear, and they fix it a little bit. Most of the time, it just went back. In fact, I even said, why don't you? But someone said we're getting our money back, but I don't know. But yeah, it was good. It was first several hours on how you got the data, and then a couple of hours on how you use the data to project what was going to happen in the future. And then the last part, which was really the best in a way, was how to get people to vote for your budget. In other words, what kind of, how you could make a presentation where people didn't quite catch on. Yeah, so it's good. I wish I could have heard it. And we have all these visual, all these things that printed out. But there's no good, the printed out, it doesn't do any good if you don't know what they said. You know, I'm looking at all this. But anyway, what I did hear was very good. Yes?
Is this, I'm sorry, John Michael, is this a training that you intend to have the budget committee members attend?
No,
Well, it's not scheduled that often, right?
no, well, we didn't have anybody.
Sure.
Yeah, it would be good.
So moving forward with the budget committee, yes.
Susan Clancy-Dougherty. So Diane, how did you, what you could hear in the information you had, how beneficial do you think the budget committee would be?
Oh, I think it would be a good idea.
And how
But
many
care-
people do you think should be on the budget committee?
Well, that we have, that's for the selectmen to,
I'm asking.
So we have a draft
depends on, you know,
ordinance looking at Lemoyne's.
it'd be a lot of work.
And Lemoyne's has 5 people with 2 alternates.
Hmm.
So this also will have available for people to pick up. The select board chooses them, and
Selectmen, how they choose.
no, it's good thought. So what I'd like to do is ask people to, if they want to be on the committee, to email one of the select persons, and a couple of sentences of why they like to be on the budget committee. I think it's great that it seems like there's a lot of interest in being on it. I've never seen the interest before, so it's good.
It's a
So
big
you
time.
said you thought it was a good idea and that you would do it. And then nobody, you couldn't get anybody to do it. And within 48 hours, I had 7 people willing to commit.
Right. Well,
Now there's these you have to go through.
this needs to be advertised to the whole town, not just the people that you've contacted.
It was in the newspaper. We got advertising in the newspaper that there was going to be a budget committee. I mean, what more do you want? Anybody wants to be on the budget committee.
We are the select people, and we are the people that choose the budget committee. You don't just come up with one.
Why does it make sense to have the select people cherry pick the people they want to be heard on the budget committee? Isn't that sort of censorship?
No, because the select people are elected, and so we are responsive to all you people. So going into the. They have to.
And we have to advertise, like, like the day that we were supposed to talk about the budget committee, we didn't talk about it, but did you advertise for the finance committee? No, not at all.
We want to do it the way it's fair.
We had 7 people, then you said we want to have a finance committee, we didn't oppose, and then you appointed yourself and down. I mean, I'm so grateful that I'm sure you're doing tremendous amount of work. But how did that happen? You didn't advertise for the finance committee.
Excuse me, you sound as if you have appointed yourself to do all of this.
I'm asking a question. So how did I appoint? If I'm appointing myself, then I'm going to be telling you what to do.
That's what you're doing.
I'm asking a question. How is it that we had this budget committee on the 15th, you said that's fine, if we could get the people, within 48 hours, I got the people, you don't ask who they are, you say that we're going to have a finance committee, but you're putting new rules. Did you advertise? Why didn't the finance committee?
Finance committee had a very limited pool to choose from.
Well, you know what, when I do.
Are you a CPA?
I'm a certified financial planner. I've outside. So, but the thing is that when you look at what it requires to be on there, you could have had other people that didn't have to be a CPA. Donna didn't have experience doing municipal work. She does tax work.
Let's keep to the subject.
You would be wrong without advertising. That there'd be no one else here to be.
Let's keep to the subject. Well,
did you tell us that you were going to consider a budget committee? If we could find people, I did what we asked. I told people we had 50 people. Fine, anybody could come to me and say, yes, I would do that.
Are you not like official?
Hold on.
You did not say that. Can we clarify? Did you say, I haven't been able to get people for the budget committee, but I think it's a good idea? Did you say that or did you not?
Susan,
say that?
it's great that you drummed up support for budget committee, but it needs to be,
Yes, we didn't answer your question.
No,
No, he's minimalizing.
not, did you say that if I could get people, that you hadn't been able to, but if I could get people that you thought it was a good idea?
that's true, it is a good idea.
Yes.
Form, it wasn't-
But we're not going by your list of people. We're going,
No,
they need to request of the board.
You know, people could have gone to the meeting, they could have gone to the same training that Diane, and would be up and ready. It seems like it's being pushed down the road so that we don't have it. I would like to.
No, we will have it.
Okay. Fine, all right, request. And anybody else that wants it, you can do the same thing, or I'll share it with you. I would like to see the budget for the last 5 years for the town of Sorrento.
It's in the warrant of the annual meeting.
I'd like to see what it is, your working papers of where you come up with, like, you say, administration, $100,000.
This-
What's the line of details?
It is in the annual report.
look,
You just make up the number. you
We
just put it
need
in
to-
the 100,000.
No, moving on.
Detail.
There are no details to give to you.
let's keep to the subject.
This is the subject.
No, 5 years it's not. It's budget.
And we can
Okay.
create our own budget committee. We can be a concerned citizens group. We can have this information. I mean, we don't have to have, you know.
And wait your turn like everybody else.
That's right. I'm still talking. So when you get, when they're talking about.
You're interrupted.
Okay, everybody, please. Susan, there obviously are a lot of things that we're trying to deal with. And I'm sorry that a budget committee was informed earlier, but obviously we're dealing with a lot of things and you're not helping any. So just hold on.
That would be your opinion that I'm not helping. There are other people that are very grateful. And they're here because of what's going on.
Okay, but what this says what we're going to do. We're going to request candidates to submit. And then we're going to look at them and decide who should be on. Yeah.
So anyone who wants to be on the committee to email one of us.
It's a big time commitment.
Rather than putting it in the newsletter, Kathy, put it on the Facebook page and advertise it, post it. No, just, make a posting of requesting candidates to email to the select board, saying they'd like to be considered for the budget committee and offer a couple of sentences explaining why. By next selectmen's meeting.
Excuse me, Rob, can you tell me who is working on the budget with you this year?
Not yet.
We're not working on the budget yet.
Well, you'll have to pull together a budget for the annual report, correct?
Yeah, of course. But the budget committee will
So
be,
who's working on that with you this year? If you're not going to have the budget committee up and running before, you said you were going to present a budget in June, right? So who's going to be
No.
working with you on that before then?
oh, we're gonna have a working budget committee.
The working budget committee, is this going to be who you're asking for 14 people for?
No,
Or you're asking for people to write to you to be on
Yes,
the working
be on
budget
the
committee?
budget
Is that what you're saying?
uh,
Okay, so, but you're not going to have it ready for this next budget, correct?
No, of course we are.
Yes, we will.
June, we don't have the budget till September.
We're going to create bylaws for a budget committee. And we'll have a working committee for this budget coming up,
And
as opposed to putting it in, waiting to establish it as an ordinance. We'll still establish as an ordinance, but we'll get it going for this cycle.
well,
I'm not sure.
And so is there also an advisory
on, Ann.
group
Ann.
for people who can't be on the committee?
Hold on, Nan. Harold, I'm sorry. And yeah, five people and 2 alternates. That's not including of town officials. So with Kathy or the selectmen are on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Harold, I think you're next.
Harold, David, just wondering if you were gonna minimal qualifications, experience, kind of thing, or just ask.
Well, we're just asking people to explain why they like to be on it. John?
So you're gonna create the bylaws for the committee after selecting the committee? That seems like.
Well, no, we're going to offer this to start.
I haven't seen this.
Yes, you haven't, but I'm saying that it'll be available at the town office.
And then, so that's gonna be available at the town office tomorrow?
Yep.
And you're gonna select the committee members in the 2 weeks in between meetings.
If we get enough people.
So how is the board of selectmen going to collaborate on the members of this committee outside of the public?
We're not. We'll have to do it during the meeting.
Thought you said it was gonna be done prior.
The deadline is.
There's a deadline for
Up to-
being candidates.
And so you'll work on the committee at the next meeting. Inside.
let me tell you, my one criteria for on a budget committee, I want someone on the budget committee who is, or I don't want someone on the budget committee that I feel is very one-sided. I want this. I want someone that sees it in a, like a jury, that.
Sort of censorship, I mean, shouldn't you have people on all sides of the aisle?
Nah, you're looking.
Well, ultimately, we'll.
You get to discuss it. Those people, whoever it is, can discuss it. No, we're not on the committee.
If you select people from the center, you don't get to hear all the voices.
No, we can hear the voices. I don't want the budget to be in a certain way, the dollars to this, dollars to that, because someone has, let's say, some fascination with it's got to be on floats in the harbor or something. I want to be sure that whoever is on has a well-rounded view. That's.
I'm sure the people that we select.
I'm sure all of you do.
I'm sure the people that we select will have a broad range of
Yeah, I don't think
opinions,
it's going
no
to be
matter
a
what.
problem. Billy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And listen and express their ideas.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
so the committee would be formed
Yeah.
of 5 people that are voting members. Oh. Right. And so everyone will have a chance to influence the committee.
YouTube.
We could do that. Okay. Are we?
Okay, so
Get to public comment.
yeah.
We got it.
We've had plenty of it.
We were going to have an extra session that's not here on public comment, but I think we've had enough.
We've had plenty of that. Motion to adjourn? Oops, what do you have? Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Rob, I have one more question, Rob.
And,
This is
okay,
Ann Blood. I just have one more question. The state of Maine passed a law last year about density and planning for ADUs and being able to add extra houses to house lots and stuff. And it's effective in July. And I was just wondering if our planning committee has started to look into that at all.
I remember
It's
asking,
called 2003.
They meet tomorrow night, so we can ask them.
yeah, it's a planning board question.
Some of them are here. Of the committee. Look around.
So I have a question relating to finances. There was a few accounts that are over their appropriated funds. So one of those can be opposed as far as will that be added to the special meeting?
Potentially, which accounts?
Did you hear her?
I don't know.
You can be a little louder. if you-
It was that accounts that are 25%.
No, she didn't say that.
She didn't.
say it's over.
We have two
Oh,
accounts
okay.
that are, the amount of money that we spent is over what
Yeah.
what you all
Okay.
appropriated, voted on for the appropriation.
Kathy, can you email that to me and we'll talk about it next time? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I move.
The minutes, one of them, the minutes.
Oh, yes, hold on. So, motion to approve the April 5th Board of Selectmen minutes?
Second,
All in favor?
Gaza, aye.
Will Pan, aye. The minutes for April 19th postponed till next time. We haven't had a chance to work on them, edit them, because we just got them today. Anything else, Kathy?
Well, regarding this is all, if you would pass them out, how about putting maybe a couple of other forms, because people might.
So the ones you gave me, I'll give to Kathy to make them available.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Kathy?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Motion adjourned.
Second,
All in favor?
Gaza, aye.
Will Pan, aye.
Because my email doesn't work very good.
Yeah.
It can